Hey everyone, RogueGold here, welcome back to the Division 2. And today, the developers have just released the patch notes for the first post-DLC launch patch, that being Year 7 Season 1.1. It is arriving tomorrow on June 17th, 2025. And for the most part, this is looking like a pretty good update. It addresses the majority of the major top level issues that I think players have been running into since this latest update released. There is one pretty notable bug that is not looking to be fixed with this update, unfortunately, and we're going to cover that as we go through. But stuff in terms of smart cover being able to be upgraded in expertise and getting the blueprint for it, the new Catalyst exotic mask being fixed up, those things are in there. There are also some surprise additions that I'm quite pleased to see. So again, some good, some bad. We're going to get into it all. As we dive in, I have to give a shout out and thank you to our channel members for your ongoing support. It allows me to make these videos as consistently as I do, so thank you. But without further ado, let's dive into the patch notes. Alright, so as you can see right here, we have June 17th, the Year 7 Season 1.1 patch notes. They have not yet made the post about it, but servers are going to go down as normal. To deploy this, expect a estimated 3-hour downtime window. But once they come back online, tomorrow, Year 7 Season 1.1 will be live. And let's get into what is being fixed with this update. They start out with a Battle for Brooklyn category here. They fixed the issue with being unable to fast travel to the Warlords expansion from the Battle for Brooklyn DLC when using a skip to expansion Wony boosted character. They fixed an issue with the player getting stuck behind the automatic doors if they go back through them when the objective updates to secure the reactor. I believe this is from the Army Terminal main mission. That one actually happened to me a number of times, so glad to see that fixed up. They fixed multiple mission flow issues within the DLC, including missions restarting when fast traveling via the AR panel, and then they just list out the same thing that they said here. And then finally, they fixed the issue with the turret generator weak point disappearing after being destroyed during the Defend the Bridge mission. So those things are all on the way. Taking a look now at modifiers, they fixed the issue with the hardcore modifier attribute counters moving when the player zooms in using a non-magnifying scope. This one is also a bit surprising. They've changed some of the hostile modifier balancing, specifically the stamina mark, which is the blue circle that you'll see above enemies' heads. Previously, that would mean that they took 35% reduced damage, or maybe it's from crit damage. I don't specifically remember the wording on there. Either way, it's been reduced now from 35 to 20%. So this is going to make builds like the backfire one that we covered last week even stronger now. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, they're doing this. Alright, moving on to gear, here's where some of that surprise stuff comes in that I was mentioning, that I'm quite pleased to see. So they've gone in and updated the level 4 control point loot table to drop blueprints for multiple brand and gear sets, including Brazos, Habsburg, Electrique, Langmo, Palisade, SP Zoo, I'm still never going to try and say that name, Legatus, Shiny Monkey Gear, Umbra, Hotshot Ortiz, Cavalier, Aegis Breaking Point, Virtuoso, and Refactor. So all of these blueprints, which were previously awarded from those respective season passes, can now be gotten from level 4 control points. But that's not all. They've also gone in and added blueprints for the Striker's chest and holster, as well as the System Corruption backpack and knee pads. That's pretty nice. And they've also updated the reconstructed cache loot table to include all non-event named items. So if you'll remember, when reconstructed caches were first introduced, they were really known for giving you DZ named item blueprints, which were otherwise unobtainable. But now, aside for the non-event named items, which is stuff like the Chill Out or the, I don't know, Oh Carol Sniper, any named item that was not tied to one of those limited time events can now be gotten, its blueprint can at least, from reconstructed caches. So that's pretty nice. They've also gone in and fixed an issue where the Imminence Armaments, which is the new brand set, and the Measured Assembly, which is the new gear set, pieces could not be shared across characters. And then here is the one of the major fixes right here. Fixed the issue with the Catalyst exotic, where stacks of catalysis did not grant weapon damage and bonus status effects. This is probably one of, if not the biggest change and fix the players have been waiting for, so I'm very excited to dive in and test that out tomorrow. Continuing on though, we have another pretty surprise change here, but again, a pretty good one. They've updated the Hoarder to drop multiple event items during ongoing events, depending on the difficulty the agent is playing on. So if your world difficulty is set to normal or hard, that means that you'll get 2 event items per kill of the Hoarder or the Loot Goblin. If it's on challenging, that means you'll get 3 items. And if you're on heroic or above, which I'm not sure what that means, but you'll get 4 event items. I guess that could mean legendary in the summit. But yeah, you'll get 4 event items in total. This is a great change. The amount of event items that we now have is a lot more than I think, when they first introduced this system where you would only get 1 item per kill. So this is a very needed change for all of these new items that we have going into that rotation. And so this is going to be great for farming stuff like the chill out or whatever new items are going to come our way that are lucrative. Good stuff here. All right, and then finally we have the other category down here, starting off with another very important change and fix. Fix the issue with the smart cover skill not being upgradable when it is proficient. So you can now apply those expertise upgrades to it. They've also made it so that the unknown smart cover mod blueprint can now be purchased from Anaya upon unlocking smart cover. Some other changes as well. They have replaced the Year 6 Season 3 caches, which were still showing up at the countdown vendor incorrectly. They fixed issues with the loot goblin that would drop superior quality loot instead of all high ends on heroic. Same issue with airdrops. Those would still be giving you superior quality on challenging and heroic. Some issues here with corner swaps and navigation. A few issues right here with the level 40 boost. An issue with the Agent Ward shirt and the Year 1 bundle. Various world geometry issues, including missing collisions, flickering shadows, floating assets, and clipping. And finally, as always, fixed multiple issues affecting audio. Alright, so that is the total list of changes, at least the ones listed here. Again, there could always be a few extra things that they don't put in, but that is what is coming tomorrow with Year 7 Season 1.1. The big last thing that I want to address, though, is what is not in this update, stuff that we were expecting. The biggest notable one that I can think of, at least, is the empty stash problem. I know so many of you have asked me about this already. You go to your stash, all your items are gone, you're like, oh my god, I just lost everything that I've worked for in the Division 2. If you were not aware already, this is purely a visual issue. If you travel to either New York or Brooklyn and go back to DC, or you log out and log back in, that should fix the problem. Sometimes you have to do it 2 or 3 times. Unfortunately, it's not ideal, but at least it's not actually having your items deleted. The thing is, though, this was originally planned for Year 7 Season 1.1. That card has now been changed to 0.2. And if we look at the in progress category here, they've now updated it to show everything that is in the works for the next patch here. So that includes the stash issue that we just went over. It also includes the new Twitch drops campaign not working as intended, which was just like last time when they ended up having to grant the rewards out to everybody. I myself did not get the rewards for this latest campaign, so they very well might do the same thing where they're just going to grant those out. And then you have other things in here like the map not displaying correctly the location for backup calls, as well as backup call notifications not appearing when you're at the bridge settlement. So I just wanted to shout out here at the end that there are a number of fixes that were originally listed for this 0.1 update that have now been changed. Most of them say to 0.2, so it looks like we're going to be waiting a few additional weeks to get some of those. My friends, that is just about going to do it today, though, for my coverage of the Year 7 Season 1.1 patch notes. I would love to get your thoughts on everything that we're seeing in here. Are you glad to see some of the top level stuff like the Catalyst fix, the smart cover mods? Also, what do you think about some of those more surprise additions, like adding in new blueprints, changing out the blueprint loot table, updating the hoarders like item distribution? That one I'm really happy to see. But then, of course, what are your thoughts on them not including stuff like the stash fix, some of those other things? I do think that is a shame that we're having to wait several more weeks probably to get those. But yeah, as always, whatever you're thinking, let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video and found it useful and you're not already subscribed to the channel here, I hope you will consider doing so. I will continue to bring you the quickest and latest Division 2 news, but that's all I've got for you today. Thank you all so much for watching. Catch you back soon. Until then, RogueGold out.